Welcome to this tutorial on creating a hue wheel in a graphics program like Photoshop or Photopea. In this case we are going to be using Photopea since it's free and you can use it easily online in a browser. Let's start by drawing a round shape. You can get it by holding down Shift and Alt to draw from the center, and then we're going to enable a gradient overlay and set it to angle. And let's click on the gradient swatch. These top ones control the opacity of the gradient. We won't touch those, but these bottom ones, they control the color, and we are going to set the first one that is at hue 0 degrees to be red. Then let's click to create a new stop, and the color of this one, we will make red and green full to get a yellow color, and let's set this at position 17 out of 100, so it will reflect a 60-degree mark, roughly speaking. Then the next stop, this one is going to be green, and that's going to be 120 degrees apart from the red one. And then we will do a cyan color, and that's going to be 180 degrees, and the position of the stopwatch in the gradient should be half in 50%, because 180 amounts to half of the circle. Then we're going to create a blue color, position that at 66, and finally let's create a magenta color by turning on red and blue, and let's position that at 83%. And finally, the circle has been completed. Now we're going to go back to 0 and make it pure red. So now we have this hue wheel here. We can select it by control-clicking on the layer, and let's contract the selection a little bit so that we get a ring instead of this full wheel. So more like a hue ring here. And if we want, we can add some layer styles to this by double-clicking on the layer. Maybe we'll do a little color overlay if we want to do a shade for the wheel, which can make the colors look more interesting. We can add a little inner shadow if we want to make it feel like the ring is kind of inside the paper, and just mess with the layer styles here. So how a tint would look like, where we are adding white to the colors. But I'm not going to add a tint, and I'm not going to add a shade, so I'm going to disable my color overlay, but that's an interesting possibility for sure. Now we have our color wheel finished. Our hue wheel is ready, and I will continue adding some stuff to this to name the colors and put in the angles and the little angle lines, and rotating them always 30 degrees apart from each other so that we can get those line markings separated by 30 degrees. And let's group them together in a group by pressing Ctrl G, and then we'll mask them with the same mask, which I duplicated by Alt dragging the mask from the ring to also the group that has these lines. And then we can scale the lines a little bit, position them perhaps inside in this case. And next I will draw a little path using the circle tool set to the path mode. So that I can then click on the path with my text tool. So now I can type in text on top of the path. I just need to move the layer to be the highest layer so that the masks don't affect it. And now I can start typing the angle values on this ring using the text tool. Then let's add some rulers so we can drag guides to help us find the center of this thing. And now I will draw another circle using the path mode again, and this will be for the texts that are naming the colors. we have added the color names. We can of course shift their positions just a bit, but that's pretty much that. Group those texts in a new group folder, and then I'm just playing with the opacity of them a little bit and the blending mode. So I'm setting the blending mode to hard light. Let's draw a little triangle here in the center that will kind of point out the primary colors of the RGB system, which are red, green, and blue, spaced out at 0 degrees, 120 degrees, and 240 degrees. Where the triangle has the flat sides perpendicular to those, we have the colors in between, which are yellow, cyan, and magenta. Let's type in the text primary RGB in here to clarify what the triangle is about. Finally, we'll add one more shape so that we get a nice black ring to be the background of the outer texts. So I'm using a shape, I'm giving it a stroke, and let me place it behind the other stuff. So I'm placing it kind of low in the layer stack. And then I'm tweaking the inner shadow of the hue wheel here to get a nicer effect still. And now I'm ready to kind of publish this image. I think I will make the image size twice the original size, so I get like a 2K resolution for this one, and everything should scale nicely since we have only been using text and vectors and layer styles, so there shouldn't be any issues with scaling, degrading the quality of this. And now I'm going to export this final version as a PNG file. And I will also save the PSD file. If I need to tweak something later, then there's the PSD file. And if you don't want to recreate it yourself, you can actually get this file. The link is in the description of this video. You can buy this file for $1. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you next time on fastertutorials.com.